Welcome to Pookie in Paradise. My name is Jeff. My friends call me Pookie. With us, as always, Leah, hand of the Pook, Kasari. How are you, Leah?
I'm okay.
Just okay?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
My kid decided to Google the symptoms of the coronavirus today.
Hmm.
Actually, right before we got on here,
Okay.
and she's 9, and her nose is running, and she's getting a sore throat. So she had a full-on panic attack because you know how Google makes you think you're dying anyway. She immediately thought she had the coronavirus. So I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where that hypochondria comes from at all, but
Yeah, I can't imagine where she got that from. Because I'm sure, I'm sure you did a lot to calm her nerves. I'm sure you said, look, these are normal symptoms for any type of virus, even the common cold. No, of course I'm lying. You were probably like, you're right. This is the coronavirus.
They're probably getting ready to go to the doctor right now.
Right.
We're gonna do
I'm
that.
surprised. I'm surprised you're not doing the show from the road on the way to the ER.
I know. Well, I've calmed down a little bit. No, seriously. I with my kids, I so don't want them to become my neurotic, crazy hypochondriac ass. I
Right.
am. I treat them the way Helena used to treat me. I don't coddle it. I don't feed into it. I'm just like, you know, you're fucking fine.
But in your own mind is
Yes.
this girl's right.
Yeah, my kid's totally dying. Oh my god! And what comes out of my mouth is basically you're fine. Shut up.
Suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up. You're fine.
If you die, you die.
Exactly.
And also with us, veteran Pookie in Paradise host Andrew J. Mounts. How are you, Andrew?
Oh, I'm doing good. How's Florida?
Florida's wonderful. It just started to get really hot these past 2 days. It was like 95 degrees today.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah. It's still better than 40 degrees, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
And there's nothing better than going outside for like 5 minutes and really letting the heat, set in and then going back into the air conditioning. That is the greatest feeling ever.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's air conditioned down there, so.
Yeah. And I have it set so low that I still need a hoodie at night. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Nice.
So speaking of the coronavirus, this shit's pretty nuts.
Wow. In 1 week, last week I was saying, that I think it's being blown out of proportion, and now, schools and businesses are closed, and I want a plague mask.
Well, remember I said no, the media is not blowing us out of proportion.
Yeah.
Uh, they do use things like this. They're competing against each other for sponsorship. So yes, they're going to report the most controversial, the most scary thing they can find, because that's what people watch. It's not the media's fault. It's people's fault for watching this. If they didn't watch it, the media wouldn't report it.
That's true.
So I think we owe the media an apology. I'm going to be the first one ever in the past 10 years to say that we all, as a nation, owe the media an apology. That's not going to be very popular, but
No, I think you're right. I
give them a
mean,
break.
yeah,
And
and
wouldn't it be irresponsible for them to not report on the things going on with this coronavirus? And again, they're not reporting. They're not lying about it. They're just reporting what's happening.
right. I think you're right. Yeah. I mean, I think now at this point, the media should they're supposed to be the fourth branch of government, right? They haven't been that for a very long time. So it is hard to trust them, for me, completely. Trust their motives, not the story, the motive. Um, but it shouldn't matter. I mean, this is insanity. I mean, this is like we're steps away from martial law, like to keep us safe.
I don't really trust this particular administration to administer martial law to keep us safe. I
Well,
think if we get that, I would fear for my life more.
yeah,
You know?
I agree with you. I mean, like, where it's at a pandemic level, and it's a national emergency, what I mean is not that he would do it for the right reasons, but that he has reason to do it. Like he has an open door at this point.
Yeah. Well, I hope it doesn't come to that, but it hit the insanity hit down here maybe a little bit late. So I started hearing all these reports of people buying toilet paper, which is just the weirdest thing. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. Like, there's nothing going on here. Everybody's just walking around like normal. And then I went to go get some food. I was like completely out of food. I went to go get some food, and there was not a single shopping cart available at Walmart. They were all being used, every single one of them. And then I walked in, and the shelves are picked clean.
Mm.
People are ripping open boxes that are still on the pallets that haven't been, put on the shelves yet, just to see what was in them, just to see if. And here's the weirdest thing: the cup of noodles were gone.
Dry food.
Well, I guess so, but it wasn't like the canned soup that went first. It was the fucking cup of noodles, and also boxes of pasta. But there was a full shelves of sauce.
I guess people are just thinking they don't want anything that could even possibly perish. You know what I mean? Like,
but sauce isn't going to perish anytime soon. Like,
no.
if you open it and you refrigerate it, it still lasts a while. But you're going to use it all in that one cooking session.
Well, I mean,
True.
my family doesn't use sauce. Usually,
they just use butter and
butter noodles and Parmesan cheese.
Well, no, I think that's delicious. I like that too. But I mean, are we to believe that not a single person there is a sauce person when it comes to their spaghetti? Like,
yeah,
it was insane, man. So they took all the pasta, none of the sauce. So I could get sauce, but no pasta. I had to buy like generic versions of cup of noodles because that's honestly why I went in there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a cup of noodles. I was excited. I was like, I figure I don't need toilet paper because I just happened by a sheer stroke of luck to run out of toilet paper like 3 days before this insanity hit, and I bought like this huge thing of toilet paper, so I'm good for like 2 months on toilet paper. In fact, I could probably sell half of it for a very large profit. I should.
Absolutely.
There's somebody that's doing that. Did you see that guy that had like 17,000 rolls of toilet paper and he was selling them on like some website for like $800 a pop, like cases and hand sanitizer and masks.
Yeah,
real dick move.
I want to be that guy.
I want to punch that guy in the back of the face.
I want to know what the generic version of cup of noodles is.
It's like those. Oh gosh, what is it? It's called
jug of noodle.
Yeah, it's like a cup of lunch or something. Like that.
No.
Instant lunch or something.
Yes.
Like
okay.
That. Yeah. And there's also those big like hot and spicy chicken.
Yes.
So I call that generic, but
oh right.
It's
I'm a fan of the hot and spicy. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them too. But here's the real problem is I don't know why I can't just remember to pre-order my stuff from the Walmart and just pick it up. I don't know why I hate the grocery store so much.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I go in there and I'm instantly pissed off when I get in there. And now I'm going and every single person in Orlando is in this one Walmart. And I'm infuriated before I even put one thing in a cart that I had to wrestle away from an old woman.
Right.
And this woman has got a mask on. She's screaming at her husband. I thought they were going to get a divorce right there because he didn't wipe down every single inch of the shopping cart.
Oh my God.
Like, if you're in a basically a warehouse with thousands of people, if it's in here, you already have it.
Yeah.
Wiping down that entire shopping cart. I get the handle where you're going to touch, but the rest of it, it's pointless. You already have it.
Right. And if you touch it seriously, just don't touch your face until you wash your hands. Like, we can relax a little bit, people. It's not.
That's not even your face. Your skin is part of your immune system. It's like, don't stick your finger in your eye or in your fucking nose. Like, hold off on picking your nose until you give yourself a good wash.
Exactly.
It
is, but at the same time, like I said, I'm a hypochondriac. Everybody knows it. We talk about it quite a bit. But I have started to, with things like this, if I let myself go, I would panic so bad I couldn't function. So now I just try to swing the opposite way and be like, it's all bullshit. We're fine. People are crazy. Um, but it,
So
I don't,
there's no in the middle for you.
not really, no. But
So
I'm
it's
also,
either on the ground, curled up in a ball, freaking out, or no big deal.
yeah, pretty much. But I think
Those are two
it
very
is in the
dangerous
middle.
extremes.
Very dangerous extremes. My life is one big dangerous extreme. So I think that people need to calm down and or just, you know what? Just read something. If you are scared about contacting it, or if you have it and you're afraid of exposing other people, there's plenty of information for you to get rather than just freaking out and screaming at your husband to wipe stuff down. Like, just know what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I just, it irritates me. Those people are just, they're
I was just
crazy.
I was just thinking, like, when you said read something, and if you just stopped there, it would have been like, yeah, just read, if you're worried about the coronavirus, just read, Sterner's book.
Yeah,
Just nothing to do with the coronavirus. Yeah.
solving cadence more.
Right. Just read a book. That'll help. But no, the real danger here is the people that refuse to acknowledge that this is a thing. So, and it's a lose-lose situation. So if we manage, and this will be a miracle, if we manage to prevent this from spreading, and let's say not a single case happens, it stops right here, and only 6,000 people, I think the count is up to now, die. I shouldn't say only 6,000 people, but 6,000 people die, right? So everybody that doesn't believe this is a big deal is going to be like, "See, I told you so." But
Right.
it's because of the social distancing and the closing of these bars and restaurants and everything that we find convenient that prevented it from getting into a point where millions of people are dying. So that next time this happens, these people are going to react even worse. They're going to fly off the handle. Well, last time everybody made a big deal about this and nothing ever happened. Yes, because we did these things. These
Right.
people are so fucking stupid.
And the thing is too, like, this has never happened before. People need to realize this is fucking serious. If they're closing down schools and things like hockey is done for the season, basketball is done for the season, baseball's been pushed back. That kind of shit doesn't happen. Even when 9/11 happened, they only postponed it for a little bit. This is unprecedented territory. And if you're not scared, there's something wrong with you.
And those are the people that spread it to other
Right.
people. That's the worst part. Like, so I'm not afraid of dying from the disease. Now, I
Mm-mm.
will say this: one of the other people that are dying from this are the people that are not receiving proper care, and the
Right.
reason they're not receiving proper care is because the health system in Italy, for example, who's got hit hard by this, and if you want a reason to be scared, just look at what's happening there, is overwhelmed, and they can't take care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you're letting this very serious virus, uh, you're leaving your own immune system to fight it off, which,
Right.
it's like Russian roulette there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because
Yeah.
our immune systems are not prepared for this. They have never seen it before. So the people not receiving proper care, in addition to the old people, the immunocompromised, are really at risk here. And if you're not scared of it, you should be. And also now we're talking. I just read somewhere that the CDC is recommending canceling gatherings of over 50 people or 50
Mm-hmm.
people for 8 weeks.
Yeah. For 8 weeks.
That means you can't go to the store for 8 weeks. So if you don't have toilet paper now, you're not having toilet paper for 8 weeks.
And I know.
So there is reason to panic a little bit if you did not prepare for this. Like, and maybe it's not your fault, because if we had an administration that said, look, this is a very serious thing. You shouldn't panic, but maybe you should start to, buy extra water next time you go to the store, or buy extra toilet paper, or start, accumulating these things a little bit at a time. If they started doing this 3 months ago, people wouldn't be as panicked as they are now,
Mm-hmm.
rushing to the store because they're afraid it's going to close, in a week.
Yeah. And back to the administration, it's their fault completely. I know we discussed before about how Obama handled Ebola. I can't remember if that was on the show or ma'am, but he definitely, it didn't become a problem because he was on top of it immediately. And if what these immunologists are saying is true, and they went to the president in January saying you need to shut shit down for 2 weeks, and he ignored it and said everything is fine. And if this could have been stopped in its tracks 2 months ago, then there's like people should start filing wrongful death suits against the president because that's just completely, it's neglectful. It's worse than sending boys off to war. It's disgusting.
Mounts, what's it like in the hospital? You work in a hospital, so you're not getting shut down, right? I mean, there's
not that we're aware of, and we're not.
Could they shut down the kitchen or?
I don't think they would. I mean,
because they got to feed the patients, right?
Right. Yeah, we haven't discussed it. They're not. We're not panicking at all, from what I can tell. Even like it's business as usual, and we're not getting busier, which is stranger. Like the numbers aren't skyrocketing as far as like ER visits and stuff. So
I just saw there is like what the first 2 cases of coronavirus at the Reading Hospital. Did I read that correctly? Or is that fodder?
It might be. We're pretty disconnected from it. But
are you telling me that the doctors don't come down directly to the kitchen every time there's an emergency and tell you and ask you for your advice?
No, we're pretty separate. They do have on the weekdays. They have a meeting where they discuss the goings on. Like we have the correct procedure for hand washing to prevent the coronavirus, but it was a slow day today. So,
have you been able to sneak into a surgery yet?
Yeah, multiple surgeries. I actually got to close one 2 days ago. So I didn't do so well, but
yeah, you left a hamburger in there.
Yep,
You just happen, being that you work in the kitchen, you always have a hamburger on you.
I have a nice,
just in case.
My apron has 3 pockets, so I keep hamburger on the left, and then they have the Uncrustables. I keep one on the right just in case.
There you go.
So you were closing somebody up. You decided to take a bite of the hamburger. It fell in there. Yep. You're like, ew, I don't want to go. I don't want to put my hands in there. So you just figured close it up. Yeah,
nobody saw that.
Right. It'll just it's food. Right. The body can handle it.
Yeah.
So we had our second White Horse meeting today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, you guys discussed the coronavirus on MAMS. Is Amanda hanging her kids from the trees yet, or is she?
Yeah, she stocked up on extra clothespins to hang them from said trees. She's also slapping some oil on them, making sure they're okay. Yeah.
Essential oils or another kind of oils?
Essential oils, and Robin just keeps.
It's right there. It's right there in the title. It's essential. So
yeah, exactly.
Anything that's titled essential can obviously cure whatever's happening here.
And we've decided, well, not decided. I mean, as you can imagine, the coronavirus is just too afraid of Robin. She just stands there and calls it a cunt with a clipboard until it runs away. So she's pretty good. Yeah, she's
that
safe.
Has to be affecting stuff that she does because she's constantly in meetings and stuff like that with groups of people. So
it's super interesting because they're open, and I really figured the Chamber of Commerce would close, and she said no, that they won't. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, they don't seem like they're essential personnel.
I guess they are. I don't know.
Ouch.
Yeah, that was definitely meant as an insult. Fuck you, Robin.
Super.
You ain't essential. But Amanda's oils are essential. That's for fucking sure.
They are. I want to know, do you guys think that they're going to, that this 2 weeks, right? Do you think this is enough time? 1. And 2, do you think this is going to help it in any way? Or do you think it's just delaying the spread?
Well, it's going to spread no matter what. But I guess if you spread out the spreading of it, they can manage it a lot better and
Yeah, that's what I
treat
heard.
it. And also the longer we push back people getting infected by
Hmm.
doing stuff like this, the better chance we have to have a vaccine. And it's a
Right.
lot less to manage later on down the line. But it's all gonna come down to whether people adhere to these things or not. Like if
Hmm.
people are getting off from work for 2 weeks, or they're closing, let's say Disneyland or Disney World, which they are, and all those people who are on vacation decide to go to the fucking movies,
Right. Right.
doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help at all. And
Just stay in your
two,
house. Just enjoy the fact that you don't have to deal with the public for a couple weeks.
my next door neighbor is in the works for the wedding industry. They own us and they own their own business. And she did a post today talking about how, don't let your kids have sleepovers, don't have play dates. This is not a vacation. This is to keep your kids sick and to make sure mine don't get sick. So stop doing stuff like that. Um, but also the long term ramifications of something like this is not something I really thought about for something like weddings or like if they do say no people over 50, I would have had to cancel my wedding. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Um,
like no group over 50.
right. And if you're not in a business where that would affect you, then you're probably not thinking about it. But people like that, that's their livelihood and that's going to affect our economy in a big fucking way because it's going to be a long time before people start gathering again, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, one thing about the people in this country is that once they're convinced that there's a danger,
Hmm.
it takes them a long time to go back.
Hmm.
Like, in Israel, if someone bombs a coffee shop, it's tragic and people die. But as soon as that coffee shop is open again, the people go right back there.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, not us.
No, I mean,
We stay away for years.
the airline industry was a disaster for years. I think they're still recovering since 9/11.
Mm,
don't think it's the same. So this is going to hurt our economy in a big way.
yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Mm.
Now, on to a lighter note, we had the second White Horse meeting, official meeting over Skype,
Uh-huh.
and we're plugging along, and Leah's in her car doing something. Who the fuck knows? And she had her phone on her. It would seem like on her like dashboard that was like facing up, and then I don't know if you did this on purpose or what, but she hit the button that turned the camera around to the
I didn't
forward
do it
facing
on
one.
purpose. No, I did
So it
not.
was facing her, her what do you call it? Thing that
Dashboard.
tracks your miles. Yeah, the speedometer and all that kind of stuff. So in her car, so we're seeing this, and there's just like these flashing warning signals going by, and it's driving me insane. It was only for a couple minutes, but it was like that, you know, oil change needed, low washer fluid.
Yeah.
How do you drive around like this constantly?
Well,
But
it's
then
just
you did inform me that you just recently got an oil change, right?
I did. Yeah. 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 I did. Well, I didn't. Jack did.
Right.
Jack took it and did
How
it. Yeah.
long before that was the
Um.
previous oil change?
So here's the thing. Jack and I share a car right now. Because I need to get a new one. Haven't done it yet. So it's his car. It's
Because the
his
car industry
Lexus.
won't let you get a
Yes.
car because you never changed the oil?
That's exactly why.
You're blacklisted from buying a car because you just ruined them?
That's so true. Um. But he loves his car, so he's very religious about
He
it. Like
takes
every
care.
Yeah, he takes
Okay.
care of it. But when I was a kid, I had a Renault car, and when I was 16, my first car, and I never changed the oil in it. And one day, me and Joe Biscotto, the guy from Progressive Alternative, um, were at a gas station at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and black smoke started coming out of my vents. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then Joe goes, "When was your last oil change?" And I was like, "You have to change the oil." And my engine was just exploded. It exploded like right there.
Oh
So,
my God. That's like the most expensive mistake that you can make in life.
and
And
you
it's
wonder,
like it's such a stupid thing to do, to not know and not do. And like
I
in all fairness, you're young, and your
yeah,
parents should be like, "Hey, you've had this car for a while. Have you gotten the oil changed recently? Someone should have questioned you.
Well, my dad is usually pretty anal about that. So, and he didn't take it, and I didn't know. Nobody told me. But of course, it was all my fault. It was totally my fault.
Yeah. So that was that occupied part of the meeting where we could have been doing something productive. It was just me just being infuriated by the fact that I had to watch these warning messages over and over again on a loop.
I didn't even realize it wasn't facing me. Like I didn't realize it was on.
And then you picked up the phone, and now we got the shaky tour of the car. So we saw where your locks are, where the windshield, the power windshield, the power windows buttons were.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
The clutter on the floor in the front seat.
We didn't see a whole lot of that,
but
we knew it was there.
Right. It was there for sure.
So we have a wonderful show today. We can provide you with only mediocre content and shows, but every once in a while our guest takes the show from mediocre to really good. So this is one of those times. We have a magician goes by the name Matty Whipple with us today, and he's gonna talk to us about magic. He's going to do a magic trick for us, blow our minds, and then tell us how he did it, which he's not supposed to do.
I can't wait for that to happen.
Well, Mounts, here's the thing. Are you ready for my magic trick here?
Oh, yeah.
It already happened.
What?
Yeah. We already did the interview, bro.
Wow.
So, were we there for it? Were Mount and I there for it?
Yes. What's confusing here is that we are doing the beginning of the show after the interview, which we've already done. But when you listen to this is going to be before the interview.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This happened before, I think. Didn't this happen last week?
This happens once in a while, yeah.
You're really good at this trick.
But I feel the need to explain it to the audience and you guys every time just to make sure. But yes, we've already done this interview with Matty, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So what we'll do is we'll take a break. When we come back, you will hear the interview that we've already done, and we already know what's going to happen. Welcome back, everybody, to Pookie in Paradise. We are here with magician, performer, Matty Whipple. And you go by Matty, right? It's not Matt Whipple, it's Matty Whipple.
Yeah, well, my friends call me Matt, yeah.
But we're your audience today, so you're Matty Whipple.
I'm Matty Whipple, yeah. I have an Irish grandmother, so I was born Matthew, but my grandmother put a Y at the end of everybody's name. So
well, that's fair enough, yeah.
So I became a Matty.
The first thing I want to say to you is you have the voice of a magician.
Okay.
Does everybody else agree with that? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's like
you sound like a performer.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Trust us.
Yeah, that's what we. Yeah,
I guess that you have that voice. You have that. It's engaging. It makes people lean in and focus on what you're doing. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess the way that I learned it was that you should be able to be a carnival barker, basically. Yeah.
A modern day one, right?
Yeah.
So, Matty, tell us how you wake up one day and decide that you're gonna do magic for a living. You're doing this for a living, right?
Yeah. It's been my full-time job for about 3.5 years.
Congratulations, by the way, because you have a clear passion for it, and we get really excited when we talk to people that are doing something that they're very passionate about for a living.
I love doing it. When I was in the Army for 8 years, active duty. And when I got home from the Army, and this was probably 8-9 years ago, you get out of the Army, you don't really know what you're going to do with your life. I was a medic in the Army, but like when you get out of the Army, you have no skills, and it's kind of like I knew trauma medicine and I knew how to cut grass. And that was like my whole life, right? But I knew I was also pretty good at magic, so you know, I knew that I wanted to be in show business in one facet or the other. So honestly, when I got out, like the first thing I did is I thought I was going to be a stand-up comic because I always like to be funny and tell jokes and stuff. And so I gave stand-up comedy, what for, and I was okay at it, and eventually through my friends all telling me that how good I was, that I was really good at magic. They were like, dude, you should be doing magic, not comedy, or at least combine them. So eventually
Right.
I started combining them until it kind of became one thing, and so now that's what it is. So like it's like I'm a magician, but I'm not the magician that's gonna like, I'm not gonna get locked into a trunk and then escape in a different outfit. Like that doesn't happen. But
Right.
I will stand up and tell jokes for 45 minutes, and then occasionally there's magic tricks
Mhm.
in there.
Right. Right. You're not going to make mounts disappear.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm not an illusionist. I'm not, and I'm never gonna be. It'll never, that would never happen. I admire those guys. Like David Copperfield is a friggin'
Yeah.
genius. Like,
Do you know how they do that? Like, do you know how they do
Yeah.
any of it?
Oh yeah.
You
So
do. Yeah.
that's like kind of where I'm sitting in this weird spot where I'm kind of part of that brotherhood and sisterhood of magicians, like where like I am on the inside of that circle.
Okay.
I know how it works. In fact, I used to be the president of the Reading, Pennsylvania's Brotherhood of Magicians, the International
Oh,
Brotherhood
cool.
of Magicians, which is kind of like our version of the Screen Actors Guild.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I used to be.
Can't believe there is a chapter in Reading. That's amazing.
Yeah, ring.
Yeah.
They're called rings instead of chapters. They're called rings, and here
Oh,
in Reading,
that's
it's
clever.
ring 57.
Ring
And I used to be the president for only for a year because I was probably bad at it. I was probably really bad president. I don't remember even running for re-election. So
It's a very stressful job. You can only you can only be in it for so long.
yeah,
People
the hair turns
disappearing
gray.
on you all the time. Like, I
Right,
can't
yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service. Being in the military, going from military to magician is not a typical path that our servicemen and women follow. So that's interesting, right there. Did you do magic to pass the time when you were active duty? Did you do it for your fellow soldiers and things like that?
I did. This is a story. Oh my god, I tell this story all the time. So, like, when we went out there, like there's nothing to do in between missions. There's nothing to do. So this is actually where I got really good at it because I brought out a bunch of books and a bunch of decks of cards and other silly supplies with me. And in between missions and stuff, I would practice like crazy. And it was really surreal for like my buddies out there because like here we'd be like, it would be 115 degrees outside and nobody has showered for 3 weeks, and then people like,
let's do close-up magic.
yeah, and I'd be like, guys, watch the silk, here it goes, like,
yeah,
but I guess I liked it. It did, to me, it was good for morale, and I think it helped out with everybody else. So I don't know.
Did you ever get some like real like meathead that was just like, dude, get the fuck away from me, you're a nerd? Did you ever get that? Or was everybody pretty like, oh, really?
Well, it was almost all of them, but I was the medic. And I was running with, a bunch of grunts. So I was supposed to be the nerd. So I was just playing my part.
Right.
Okay. So it worked out.
Yeah.
And they knew, being the medic, if they ever got hurt, they need you.
Right. Well, you're like the team mom when you're a medic for, you get approached for everything from, I just accidentally stabbed myself in the leg all the way to, James is being really mean to me because he found out my mom, put me through scouts,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that.
Hey there, big guy. Let me pull this quarter from your ear.
You all right?
See, I would have gotten my ass kicked if I was in your position. I
probably came really close to having that happen. So
Can I tell you my remember when I was a kid, my mom got me one of those generic magic box sets
Yeah.
that came with like a a magic wand, a little top
Yeah,
hat,
dude.
and
Yeah.
some basic tricks. And I sat on the floor for about 2 hours. I was an only child early on growing up. I sat on the floor trying to make these tricks work. Couldn't get them to work, and packed up the box. And I made sure this was very passive aggressive, but not very subtle. I slammed the magic box down into the trash can in front of my mom and just stared at her and walked away. Like it was
Yeah.
the most frustrating 2 hours of my life. And I'd never even attempted magic again, but I've always been fascinated by it.
That's awesome. Well, that's literally how it all started for me. When I was 7 years old, on Christmas Day, I got the Harry Houdini hat full of magic, and I still have it.
Do you?
Yes,
That's
I do.
awesome.
Do you ever
I
use it?
even
Do you ever use it in any of your acts?
No, I'm not anymore. I even still have the box that it came in. Like
That's
it's
awesome.
yeah, that's how special it is to me. You know, like
Yeah.
uh,
So it
'cause
started for you as a kid.
oh yeah.
The
And it
obsession.
would come and go. Like it would come and go in phases. Like I would get into it, and then I remember I ended up getting into like playing like band, and I played quads in the band, and
Mhm.
and then so I would get out of it, and then I would get back into it, and then I got into singing and kind of theater and stuff, and so then I got into that, and then I got out of the magic, and then but magic was always the constant, like this constant throughout my whole childhood of being interested. Like I played in a punk rock band like when I was a senior in high school, and
Wow.
but the thing is, throughout all of that, like the constant was the magic was always like there as a hobby for me in the background, but it became very apparent to me probably midway through my senior year in high school that no matter what, I was going to do something like this for a living. Like there's no way, because I'm never going to be good at anything else, right? Like I'm only ever going to be able to be good at either
At this, yeah.
being funny and being putting on a show,
Right. No, hey, I get that feeling too. As an artist myself, it's you try a bunch of different things
Yeah.
and you realize, you know what, this is the only thing I really love and the only thing that I really want to work at.
Yep.
So yeah, I know how you feel. And so, you're in the military, you have all this downtime in between missions,
Yeah.
you're bored. So it makes sense that you practice. And when you get back, when do you really get serious about it? When do you say, look, and how much time do you put in every day to perfecting this craft, if it can be something that you can ever perfect?
So, well, I mean, when it comes to the sleight of hand part of doing magic, they say you can practice that forever and you can never master it. Some of the guys that are the best at it are the guys that work at the Magic Castle, which is out in Hollywood.
Mhm.
I think that the Magic Castle would be comparable to a magician. It would be like, it's kind of like our Mecca, like if you can get there, if you can go do a show in the Magic Castle, then you've pretty much done it. Like that's the
Mhm.
apex. So a lot of the guys that work there are the guys that I've admired my whole life. Some of the other people that inspire me are people that, here's the crazy thing. So like when you see David Blaine, when David Blaine does a TV special, right? Like you see David Blaine, right? But David Blaine hires a whole team of magicians that work behind the scenes, and those are the people, they create all of the tricks he does, and then they teach him the tricks. And so David Blaine is really just performing the tricks that these other people did, like figured out and taught him
Really?
to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes
Shut
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
up.
So while your favorite, like let's say if your favorite magician is David Blaine,
Yeah.
my favorite magicians are Wayne Houchin and Banachek, and there's like 4 other people, and they all work for David Blaine. And you've never heard of them, but they're my
Right.
favorite magicians. And
So-
so
So
that's
guys
actually,
like Blaine and stuff like that are basically like they're the Britney Spears, and like these guys in the background are
Oh
the
my
guys that
God.
wrote the
So you're-
music.
okay. So
Is
it's
that what you
really,
mean?
it's really weird that you just said that. So I don't consider David Blaine like that. I do consider, and I'm not the only magician. We consider Chris Angel to be the Britney Spears of magic.
Okay, I get that.
Really?
Because Chris
Get
Angel has never, Britney Spears never wrote a song. but she's really good at shaking her hips and singing other people's stuff, right?
Yes, yeah.
Chris Angel is a perfect example of that. He's never created his own magic trick. And I'm, oh God.
Should you not be saying that?
You know, this is
I'm probably gonna get a couple emails from a couple of different magicians telling me to shut the hell up, but
we can cut it out. But I just want you to know that
fine, no, keep it.
Chris Angel actually listens to our show.
Well, if you're listening, Chris, you're the goddamn Britney Spears of magic. And you should probably create something. Like, and so anyway, the guys who work for Chris Angel, though, I love them.
Yeah,
those are my heroes.
They're talented.
Yes, and there's still a lot of magicians out there that aren't him. There's a lot of magicians out there that create their own stuff. A good example is Mac King, who I think works at he does a show at the Golden Nugget, maybe in Vegas. He's got a show every day in Vegas. Mac King is amazing. And then there's Penn and Teller is another example. They write all their own material.
They're amazing. They're probably my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they're awesome. So anyway, as a guy who I like to write my own material. So I don't mind the folks like Chris Angel. In fact, my dream job would be working for Chris Angel. Would be to create tricks that he can use, and then to do the thing, and I get paid the same amount of money, except I don't have to
be the face. Yeah.
I mean, there is an element to this where you have to perfect the performing part of it, which is just as much work as creating the tricks in a sense, you know. So it's like if you really want to be at that level, you do need help. You can't do it by yourself. So no, I totally get what you're saying. Like it's not a knock on Chris Angel, and I'm sure he has a very deep understanding of magic.
Well, no, it is a knock on Chris Angel. He's a huge pussy, but. But no, I'm just kidding.
I really like you.
Management is going to see this and tell me I'm an asshole.
Right. He is, but he has to work on the performance aspect of it. Otherwise, nobody gets paid. The magicians that are working for him and himself, they don't get paid.
It's all a bunch. It is. It's a huge puzzle piece that all goes together in the long run. Yeah.
But I never really even knew that. I thought he was just walking around on the street, coming up with this shit on his, on the spot. You know.
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
That's.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does one create a magic trick? Like, how do you do that?
So the way that I was taught, believe it or not, I was taught there were two huge influences that I had in my life early on. And it was Wayne Shiflett, who owns Mingus Magic Shop, which shout out to Mingus Magic Shop. It's in it's in Reading, Pennsylvania on Lancaster Avenue, Shillington, technically, but it's Reading, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Lancaster Avenue. It's the third oldest magic shop in the country. It's been around since 1936. And it is a wonderful friggin' amazing place to even just to step foot in. It feels like you're in a time zone. You're in a warp, like this. You're in a museum / a portal to history. And then on top of that, there was another guy named Tom Ogden, who's also from Reading, and was a regular at the Mingus Magic Shop. So the two of them, Wayne Shiflett, who owns Mingus, and Tom Ogden, between the two of them, they kind of mentored me when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and pointed me in the right direction and taught me how to be creative and how to kind of figure they taught me how to find out all the techniques, but without learning a way to present them. And it forced me to find my own way to present everything. Right.
That's fascinating. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is like almost like it's almost like being an electrician or a plumber in a sense. You have to get in with somebody. You have to find a mentor that shows you the ropes. Yeah. And essentially you're an intern or I forget what they call it in that world, but apprentice. Yes.
Apprentice is a good way to say it. Yeah. Intern is another good way to say it. I mean, it all just matters. Like you have to have the drive to learn it on your own. If you have somebody teach you everything, here's the thing. Like if I was to teach you a magic trick, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to end up performing it exactly the way that I taught you.
Right.
But if I teach you where to read how to do a magic trick, then you're not going to learn how to perform it. You're just going to learn the mechanics, and then you're going to be forced to create your own performance around it. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
do you create your own actual trick? Like, do you take a deck of cards and you do? Wow, I can't
It's a
imagine.
mixture between I use and I think that goes for pretty much any full-time professional magician. Is we're writing our own parts, and we're creating our own. Like, if you were to take me and another professional guy and put us next to each other, and you were to say, so there's a trick that we all do. There's a
Mhm.
card trick we all do. It's called the Chicago Opener, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
you can Google Chicago Opener, and you can see a YouTube video of how somebody does it. You can even, if you Google Chicago Opener, you'll even probably find a tutorial instantly where you can learn how the trick works. But
Okay.
if you were to take like me and Wayne Hoffman and Paul Hallis and a couple of other pros and put us all next to each other, and you were to say, all of you do your Chicago Opener right now, it would look like each one of us was doing an entirely different trick from the other guy, even though the principles of it are the same.
Are the same.
Yeah, it's hard to
That
explain.
You make it
is
your own. You
yeah,
take
that is
something
such a
that's proven to work,
Right.
yeah.
and there's a
It's just
method
like
behind
how
making it work, and you
it's
make it
just
your own.
how if you take any song from the Billboard Top 40 in the last 25 years, 2/3 of them have Pachelbel's Canon as the base of their
Mhm.
music, right? Like
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it's that
Right.
same chord progression, that ba ba da ba da ba da. Like
Yes.
magic is the same way, except
I
it's
w-
Well, art is just it's telling a story. So
Yeah.
essentially, all you're doing is you're telling your version of a story,
yeah,
or you're telling your story through this particular art.
right.
it's
art
like
form.
the nobody. There's no such thing as an original idea. Like everything is kind of
Yeah.
a genuflect off
Actually,
something else.
so that's uh do you remember, like, back in, I think it was like the late 90s, there was that magician called the Masked Magician, and he did all those TV
Yes.
specials where
Mhm.
he revealed everything. So
Yeah.
like at first magicians hated him
Mhm.
because he was giving things away, but then when you heard him say why he did it, you couldn't be mad at him anymore, because he was like, look, as magicians, we've been relying on the same 25 tricks for 100 years now. It's time we let people know how we do them so that we can advance the art and finally come up with our own stuff again.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
after you hear him say that, it's like, God damn it, you're right. God.
Did
I
anybody ever find out who that was?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I forget his exact name. I think, personally, I think it was Lance Burton, who is an American magician, but I think that the guy that took the fall was, oh God, I forget his name. He's a very famous Mexican magician. If you Google it, you'll see his name. But I still think the whole thing was Lance Burton's idea, and I actually kind of hope it was, because I admire the guy. So
Val Valentino.
Val Valentino, that's the guy.
Is he blacklisted from the
No,
industry now, or is he
no,
working
not at
again?
all.
Oh, so a bunch of magicians didn't get together, kick his ass,
No,
throw him out onto the street, and say,
I think that's what
"Don't
everybody
you
wanted
ever?"
to do, but then it
Right,
turned
yeah.
out that he was doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
So then everybody was like, "Oh, God damn it!"
He's
Like, you
like
want to
a
be
whistleblower
all of a
almost.
sudden you can't be mad anymore.
He's like a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
He is totally like a whistleblower.
So-
Has the internet hurt you? Like you just said, you can Google how to
Yeah.
do a magic trick. Has that hurt you as a professional? No, it doesn't affect. I just wonder
There's
if
only
people know.
there's only a couple of things that I do that you can even look up.
Okay.
This nowadays. So, in fact, one of my opening tricks, you can look up easily, like, but I still open with it, because to me, the way that I do it and the impact that it has is worth it enough for me that if they decide to look it up later, I'm like, that's fine. It doesn't bother me.
And again,
Right.
it's a lot of it's just about the show. Like, it's about
Mhm.
connecting with people individually.
Oh, yeah.
That's what people remember.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about what you do, because we're all essentially, well, Mounts and I are from Berks County, and Leah is familiar with Berks County, but she lives like the next county over, Montgomery.
Yeah.
But you you do some shows in local restaurants and bars. You go and interrupt people's dinners while they're eating and show them a magic trick. And it's a really, I think it's brilliant way to get started. And I was watching some of the videos in preparation for this, and I've also seen you at I think Klingers and what's the one in Fleetwood that you're at? It's I always forget. It's the Liberty. Yes, Grand Central. Yeah, because my sister and her fiance live like right down the street. You can walk there. So I've seen you there, but it's always like I'm always on my way out as you're coming in type thing. So I watched some of the videos, and they're all great videos, by the way, great tricks. But the one that really stuck out to me is the one with the Altoids tin. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch this. It's on his website. It was so brilliant because like at first, like I'm like, okay, like you're doing the trick and then you show them the wrong card and you knew that their right card was going to be in the Altoids can. Like you just knew. And like, okay, that's really cool. And then you took the trick a step further where you brought somebody else into it and their card was then in the Altoids can, right? Mm-hmm. And then the best part of the trick was, oh, by the way, do you guys want a couple Altoids? And you opened up and there's Altoids in there after, and you didn't touch the Altoids thing the whole time, or maybe you did. I don't know. I didn't see it, but it was such a brilliant twist on a trick again that, like you said, that we've seen before. Mm-hmm. It was just you added your little touch to it at the end there, and that was definitely my favorite one that I've seen so far.
That's good. I'm glad that you like that one because that's one of my favorite tricks of all time. So
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And of course, I butchered. You have to watch the video. Go to Matty's website.
No, I think you did pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. Do you think I'm ready to do the trick?
What's that?
Do you think I'm ready to do the trick? Should I go to
like
local restaurants and try?
Learn a few sleight of hand moves and you're good to go. Yeah.
Only I would be like, no, don't touch my Altoids. I don't want the coronavirus.
Nobody right now. Jeez.
So you go like every couple weeks. Like there's certain bars that you're there every 2 weeks. Do you find that you need to constantly come up with new material because are you seeing the same people, or are you able to get away with maybe 2 or 3 months of the same material because it's different people there every time?
So that's been a big part of it for a long time now. So I started doing magic in restaurants a little over 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago now. And back then I still had a day job, and you had to, and it's still true. You have to constantly, eventually you build up sort of like a local fan base, and you'll have the same people that they come up out and see you every week. Right. And so you can't just do the same tricks every week, because if you did that, then nobody would keep coming back. You got to do something new every time, especially for the people that keep coming back, because you can save the best ones for the people that are there for the first time, but the people who have been there every week need to see something that they haven't seen before. At least that's how I feel. And but I've always loved that about it, because magicians who work on the stage, they can live their whole careers off the same 13 tricks. That's it. They just do the same show every week, every day, day in, day out for their whole careers. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And people say that you're crazy that you want to work in restaurants. Why would you rather work in restaurants? And then you have to constantly be expanding and it's constantly changing things. But like, that's what I love about it. Like, I like that I have to still study, and I like that I have to come up with new ideas all the time. I like that I have to come up with 1,000 ways to do the same trick. I mean, when you think about it, dude, there's only one card trick on the planet. You pick a card and then you put it back, and then I'm going to find it. That's it. That's every
so true. Yeah, you're right.
But there's 1,000 ways that I can get between you picking the card and me finding the card. It could be behind you on a wall, like it was already there the whole time. It could show up in your wallet. It could show up anywhere. I could rip it to pieces, and then all of a sudden it fixes itself. There's 1,000 ways to do it, and that's what makes my job awesome is I like that I can find I can tell you every single time you ever pick a card out of one of my decks of cards, I'm going to find it in a different way from the last time I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, to me, there's something very beautiful about that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's like if you, I mean, you know, whatever if you see a movie, a love story is a love story, right? But it's the meat, it's the guts of the love story that makes it fun, right? There's a whole different. I Got Mail, right, with Tom Hanks, and I'm only thinking about that because he has coronavirus right now.
Yes.
It's all we can think about is the coronavirus.
You got like I Got Mail with Tom Hanks, and then you got Shaun of the Dead, which is like a zombie movie. They're both the same movie. They're just a love story about two people who got in a kerfuffle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm going to blow your mind even further when it comes to that, because it's not just love stories that are the same. Every single movie ever made is based on something called the hero's journey. Right. It's, your protagonist who gets himself in trouble or herself in trouble and meets a wise mentor that guides them through this difficult part in their life while defeating the antagonist. And then it climaxes, and then it kind of comes down, and then it levels off for the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That's literally every movie ever made. And
there you go.
But what makes movies and film great is that there's so many different ways to tell that story.
To get from A to B.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Card trick is the same way, or any kind of coin trick, a mind reading trick. I mean, think about what a mind reading trick is, or mentalist, right? Which mentalist, by the way, God, I hope that a lot of magicians don't ever see or hear this, but
just ruining the industry right now.
Yeah, I am. But cool, dude. I don't have a problem calling out like all the crap.
Yeah, call a spade a spade.
Like there's a lot of for instance, I just did a show in Miami on Wednesday, right? And I was billed as a mentalist, right? Okay. But mentalist is really just it's just a word. It's a mentalist is a magician who wears a suit and performs for other people that are wearing suits.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
So reading someone's mind, there's a trick there. They're not actually
there is no difference between reading somebody's mind and doing a card trick. It's all the same stuff. It's all the same technique. And it's almost like mentalists are just magicians who just felt like they were too good to call themselves magicians anymore.
Like they're trying to take a piece of the pie that was already there, but they're trying to make it a cake instead of a pie. A fancy wedding cake instead of a pie. It's just it's just the same thing. They just reinvented it as
and the same word is illusionists. Illusionists are just magicians who prefer to perform on a stage. Like none of them mean anything. They're all the same word. And I don't know.
So then like a psychic would just be someone who doesn't want to admit that they're just a magician.
That's where I was going next.
Psychic. See, now you're treading on interesting territory, because a psychic is a fraud.
Thank you.
Yes. A psychic is a charlatan and a fraud, and that's what Houdini spent his entire life trying to prove. And here's the difference between a mentalist and a psychic is they'd use the exact same techniques, but a psychic tries to convince you that what they did was actually real. And they tug on your heartstrings in order to convince you of that. A mentalist is okay with you knowing that we're using tricks and deception in order to get to our end goals.
And that's to entertain you and give you a night out on the town
for entertainment purposes. A psychic tries to convince you what they did was real, and they will end up using that to sucker you out of money and to try to they will a psychic can ruin your life, because you will truly believe things that they tell you. Whereas if I read your mind, I use the same technique as a psychic, except that I just tell you that it's all fake.
There's a name for that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a name for that technique, and I can't think of it right now.
There's
It's
a
a
few different names. I mean, cold
that's
reading
it.
would be one of the words. One of
What was the one first one you said? Not cold reading. I can't think of
uh,
it. I
I don't
can't
know.
think of what it is, but it's like a term. It's a psychological term that they use. It's how
Yeah.
they
Well, the way
know what you're thinking, what you want them to say, kind of.
the idea is this. This is, and this holds true for any for either mentalists or for a psychic, you know, or somebody who's claiming to have really good intuition. Is we give you information that we could give to anybody, but you're going to plug it in to wherever it needs to go in your life. You know what I mean? Like here's an example. Here's an example. Wait, this is going to be, if this hits, it's going to be insane. I want you to think about the first name
Okay.
of somebody like super, super important to you, right? Somebody that you care a lot about.
Okay. Okay.
Only think about their first name. Somebody that matters, just really like matters a lot in your life. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have that name in your head?
I do.
Okay. Focus on it. Okay. I'm not gonna pretend that I could tell you the name. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm gonna try to tell you at least like who they are.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Think about the actual name. Don't think about the person. You're thinking about the person. Think about
Oh
the
my
name.
God, stop it. I think it just got weird. Okay, the name. Okay, the name. Okay.
Okay, now switch back to the person. Now think about the person.
Okay.
Okay, and they're way younger than you. Yeah?
No. No.
They're not. They're not.
They're not. No.
But have you known them like their whole life, or is it the other way around? They've known you your whole life.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're way younger than them.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. See, I was getting it twisted. And this person, okay, this person has known you your entire life.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and they're still alive. They're still alive, but they're old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this person, did they used to be like an authority figure to you, and then eventually you rebelled against them, and you said, no, that's not happening anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. This is your mother?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I see. Now that I know what you were doing there, I see what you
Okay,
did.
so yeah, there, you see, that's how it works.
So someone
Wow.
who practiced that craft and refined it, it's very easy to see how they can be so good at it that you believe that they truly are. That's you know, it's funny. I knew that it was going to be her mother right off the bat because you know, her mother you know, is going through some medical issues right now, so of course that would be on her mind. But the fact that, like you said, you can play on that emotionally.
Yeah.
You had no idea that it was her mother, but you
Now,
could
here's
tell
the
that there was an emotional response when you started to dig a little bit.
Right. Well, and then here's the thing. Add to that, if it had been in person, if I had her write her mother's name down on a business card or something, you know, and then she keeps it, like I don't even see it, but then I would be able to even tell her mother's name, you know, and it's all.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
You understand, you know.
Yeah,
I think that even though here's the thing, even though it's cold reading, right? I did the exact same thing that a psychic would have done. The difference is a psychic would have tried to convince you what they did was real, and I'm willing to at least admit that it's not. That I'm just
it was just for entertainment. It was just for fun.
Right, but even as a form of entertainment, you have to admit that that's kind of freaky. That I could tell her within just a few questions, I knew you were thinking of your mother, and even honestly, even from my point of view, as I've done it throughout the years and gotten better and better and better at it, there's points where sometimes I'm even like, holy shit, like I just kind of read their mind, you know, like, and so it is. I'm not willing to say that the idea of being a psychic is completely impossible. But what I'm willing to say is that I've learned how to fake it so well that I can even convince myself I'm doing it sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And like you said, like with psychics, if somebody's coming to you, like of course so I originally thought don't think of your kids because you just mentioned them. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to think of my kids. I'm sure most people do that. And then if somebody's going to see a psychic, they probably believe him. So so then they're going to probably think, I wonder if this is part of learning. They're going to think about someone that's important to them and anyone that's injured. Like Jeff said, he knew it was going to be my mom, but you don't know that my mom's in the hospital. But
Yeah.
you would have played on that.
If I had done that, then I would have instantly known. I wouldn't even have had to have guessed at all. Like,
right. But you could probably get me to tell you that and make me think that you knew it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. It's fascinating. It's
Right.
fascinating.
So I also want to talk. Well, let's talk a little bit. You were in Miami because if you creep Matty's Facebook, you can see that he's been checking into Florida a lot. What's going on there? That's it's a big thing for you, right? You recently had some good things happen in your career. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
I recently, 2 days after Christmas, I signed with Hoffman Entertainment, which is one of the biggest live act agencies on the planet. They have an office. They have offices in Hollywood, Miami, New York City, Dubai, and London, and they represent basically. If it's this is, I feel like I'm discrediting them by saying this, but the way that I like to think about it is, if you picture something that you might be able to see at a circus, they represent somebody that does that, right? Like a contortionist, stand-up comedian, a magician, a barker, anything you think of it, they represent. They've got somebody. They have somebody that does it, and it's a big deal to be asked, to be approached by them. Like it blew me away that I had been working. The owner of the company is Wayne Hoffman, who's a world famous magician, and he and I had been working sort of privately on and off together for the last 3 or 4 years, and everything had gone well, but for the most part, it was just this kind of every once in a while kind of thing. And then he called me a few days before Christmas, and he said, "Hey, do you want to sign with my agency?" And like, dude, that was the goal from Jump Street, was to get on board with them, because I've never been terrible at the business aspects of doing my job. Like I when I was running it myself, I had to negotiate my own deals, and I had to do this and that, answer my own emails. But my dream from Jump Street, my dream was, I want to just do the art.
Right.
I just want to create tricks, and I want to perform tricks, and I want to not focus on anything else. And so that's basically what I've realized now. I signed.
So you're living that right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying really hard not to screw it up. Like that's. I just want to make sure that it's I'm going to do a good job. And so far I have. So far, I mean, I did a show within the first 2 weeks that I had signed with them. I did a show on Broadway in New York City.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then
how many people were there for that? Like, was it your biggest audience to date?
No, because it was a very small crowd. It was a very intimate, small crowd. There were probably 300 people there.
Okay, well that's a big crowd to me.
Yeah. To us,
I mean,
that's huge.
Yeah, it was by design. And then I did Miami on last Wednesday, and I was supposed to be flying this Wednesday. I was supposed to be flying to Vegas, but the coronavirus has seen fit to cancel that. So there's that.
Coronavirus does not like magic.
Yeah. No, it doesn't like anything.
Doing everything it can to just cancel anything fun.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. You wanted to go hang out anywhere? Nope, not happening.
Was the plane empty on the way to Miami?
No, it was packed, and it was even more packed on the way back.
Huh.
Yeah. And ironically, I don't know if you saw this. I posted to Facebook about it. Like when I was leaving Miami on Thursday afternoon, everybody in the airport had a mask on, and like I I
Yeah.
didn't. It's not because I'm stubborn. It's just because I don't care.
Right. I don't have a
Right.
mask.
Well, you're
And,
also not a boomer. It's
Yeah.
boomer remover. It's not hurting everyone. Just
Right.
them.
Right. Well, and so in the Miami airport, everybody had a mask on, and a lot of people had gloves on, right? And then we land in Philly, and nobody gave a shit, right?
Yeah. They're
And to
actually
me-
they bought masks just to burn them in the streets.
right. Yeah. To
Yeah.
me, like the most Philly thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen is how stubborn Philadelphians are. That they're just
Yeah.
like, I'm not wearing no stupid mask.
Right. And on top of that, I'm going to cough on people.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch this
Yeah.
toilet seat. They don't give
Yeah.
a shit.
No, they don't.
Survival of the fittest. You know,
Yeah.
like
Natural selection, bro.
exactly.
If it's going to get me, it's going to get me.
Yeah.
With that
Yeah.
Southern Philly accent that I can't recreate, but
That Allegheny
yeah,
accent.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Hey, you
it's
don't like it? You don't like it? You don't want to? You don't know Philly? You ain't Philly. I'll show you Philly.
Oh my god.
So
So-
I want to go ahead, Leah.
I was just gonna say that he pissed off not only all the magicians, now he's pissing off everybody that lives in Philly with the accent.
I know.
You can't get pissed off because it's spot on. Like when I
I
lived
know.
down there, it was like, we don't want it in our neighborhood. They wanted no lie. My first week down there, like we just moved in, and this giant Italian dude knocked on my door and said, "Hi, they're planning on opening up a Chinese restaurant down the block. We don't want it. We don't need that in our neighborhood. We're gonna have a meeting and we're gonna get it out of here, okay? I know we can see you down at the senior center this weekend." And like as a 21-year-old, like I'm like, yo, a fucking Chinese place down the street would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I completely disagree with everything you're saying, sir.
Needless to say, it opened up for about 2 weeks and then it mysteriously shut down.
I wonder
Mysterious.
why.
Yeah.
Poor mouse.
So I wanted to point out something else on your YouTube channel, Matty.
Yeah.
You have this. I don't even know if it's supposed to be a bit that you're doing, or it's just something you do for fun. But I think that it has so much potential, and I think it has AGT potential. This whole thing that you do, where you're teaching your niece magic.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I think you should refine that, and I think you should take it to the next season of AGT. I think you'll definitely get a yes to go through the second round at least.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we could see about that. Yeah. I'm honestly, can I be honest with you about
Yes,
AGT?
please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really not interested
No?
in
Oh,
on
man.
America's Got Talent. Yeah. Because here's the thing. They don't pay you unless you win,
Right.
right? So you
At
have
all?
to
You
no,
don't-
you make
wow.
no money at all unless you win. In fact, they don't even pay for you to get to them. They will put you in a hotel once you're there, but like when it's still filming in New York, you got to get to New York. And then
Oh,
once
wow.
they move to Vegas, you got to get to Vegas if you're still in it. They put you up once you're there. And
Yeah,
granted, even just the littlest amount of exposure on AGT is good technically. But I don't know.
I like that you said that. I AGT is great and their magicians are mind blowing, but I wonder if you don't need that. Do you know what I mean?
Here's how I feel. So like 2 years ago, who won? Shin Lim, the
Mhm.
Asian guy with the hair who
Mhm.
went like this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all the
You're
time.
not pretty
Yeah.
enough. You're not pretty enough.
Right. I feel like if he keeps practicing, someday he'll be as good as me.
Damn.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I
That-
feel like you should do it, because you'll win it.
That's
And that little
Yeah.
extra bit, just like if the whole story is just centered around, the whole act is centered around teaching your niece how to do magic and incorporating her into the trick,
and
almost
she
like
is
she's doing it. The America will love it.
Yeah.
And here's the real thing. My goal is to be a judge on AGT. So
Really?
if we line it up perfectly,
well, yeah.
then
Should
I will definitely give you a yes.
Should I just PayPal you some money now, or
Look,
What are you doing?
we don't even have to do it under the table. It'll be
Okay.
totally legit. You're getting a yes.
right now? Let's just
And then, at the end, I'll be like, well, this was kind
Hey.
of my idea.
wait. Check your wallet.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit!
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Here's my wallet.
Check your wallet.
I think I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm not kidding. If there's something in there, I may pee.
There's no money in it.
Exactly. I took it all already. It's
And
now
actually-
in my wallet.
Actually, all my credit cards have magically expired.
See? Do you see?
The greatest trick ever.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
How did you get all of the money and I got zero of the money?
I freed you from potential debt.
There you go.
I canceling all your credit cards.
The greatest trick of all.
Yeah.
You're doing God's work.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So,
Yeah.
so speaking of tricks, about what would you say? A couple hours before this interview, I said, "Hey, by the way, can you do a trick for us?"
Yeah.
I didn't give you any time to really prepare, but you graciously said, "Yeah, I think I could come up with something." So I want to give you the chance to do that for us here because, and Leah, do you want to? Leah's kids watched some of your videos and they loved them. So I don't know, Leah, do you want your kids
Yeah, do you
here
mind?
for this?
Can I run quick and grab them?
No, yeah. Go get him.
Okay, all right. I'll be right back.
So, hi guys. Hello. How are
She
you?
muted.
So we'll talk.
Did you mute your mic? Don't mute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi guys. Can they say hi?
Hi.
Okay, good. All right. What were you saying?
Are you looking at me?
No, we can't
He's
see
looking
yet,
into your soul.
Oh.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I am a very, very forgetful person. I often have to make myself to-do lists, and that's the only way I can get things. So what I do is I take old business cards. This is one of my old business cards. My new business cards look like this, right? But my old ones look like that. So what I do is I take one and I write a to-do list on the back of it. Is my camera flipping this around, or can you see like the word gym? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
And it looks correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a list from like 2 days ago. And on this list, there's 10 different things. And like I had to go to the gym, which you just saw. I had to pick up my mom. I had to do laundry. I had to do dishes. I had to there's 10 things on the list. Okay. So this is what we'll do. Leah, right?
Yes.
Leah, I want you to think of a number somewhere between 1 and 10, somewhere in the middle there. Okay. Don't tell me what it is. Just think of the number. You got
Okay.
one?
I got one.
Okay. I'm going to show you the list. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your number. Now, look, they're all numbered, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go to your number and you're going to look at what it was I had to do and just memorize that. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And anybody else, if anybody is watching this at home, you pick a number 2 and you go to your number.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Everybody, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take a look.
Okay. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you're thinking of some kind of task or activity. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to picture yourself doing whatever it was that you picked. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Really, really try to picture this.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So hang on. Okay. So you had to get in the car, right? You had to drive somewhere. So this is not like, it's not the laundry. It's not the dishes, right? Like you had to go somewhere
I had to go. Yeah.
and you're in a store,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And this is like, not a grocery store.
No.
It's like, did you had to talk to somebody in the store because you're picking, did you go to Boscov's to pick up my suit? Did you go to pick up a suit?
Oh my
for me?
God. Yes.
Is that what you
Yes.
did? Yeah. All right.
Shopping. Yes.
I have 2 things that I need to say.
Okay.
I was also thinking of the suit thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what is with your children that they're so cold? They have like 9 layers on.
We keep it cold, but Gigi wraps herself in her night, and
I was
Nina
gonna
like
say, like you keep it cold. Like how cold? Like 30 degrees?
Well, we're trying to kill the coronavirus in here, so we're keeping it
enough,
below
fair
zero.
That's it. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Actually, I heard it just goes away when it gets warm, so you might
You
want to
should
turn up
just
the heat.
light the whole place on
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
That would
Right?
do it.
That is amazing because I came into that trick late. Like I didn't pick a number. Like I was just kind of listening to you tell Leah what to do. And then when you held up the card and told her to memorize what her number was, I went to that number. And I
That's
just kept
crazy.
it in my head. That's weird. That's really weird.
You know, the craziest part is if anybody rewinds the podcast and looks at I'll even hold it up again. You're gonna instantly know how I did it. And this is just an example of how we operate. If you look, number 1
Oh.
is gym, number 10 is laundry. The rest of them, literally every single number from 2 to 9 is something to do with picking up a suit. They're all just worded differently. So it doesn't matter what number you pick. And then, so I was just doing the acting bit where I said, go to the gym. I had to call my mom. I had to do dishes. I had to do the laundry. None of that was really there. It's all just number 2 through 9 is just, I'm going to get in trouble.
You're going to get disbarred from
Yeah.
the Magic Association.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Keep it in. Don't cut it. I don't care.
So, well, Leah, what number? Leah, you're muted and you're talking, so nobody knows what you were saying.
No, don't worry about it.
What number? What number were you thinking of?
9.
Number 9, which is
Number 9.
suit shopping at 6 o'clock.
So I was thinking of the number 6.
Oh my
Number
gosh.
6 was
It was
pick
pick
up
up suit. Pick
Yeah.
up new suit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'd pick number 4. Go to Boscov's.
Number 4 was go to Boscov's. And see,
he
the
picked
thing is,
Boscov's.
so what I do then is when I'm revealing it, I said you had to go somewhere, you were in a car, so you were in a store, and it's like a department store. Like did you go to Boscov's to pick up my suit? And so no matter which one you picked, whether you picked just Boscov's or whether you picked the suit or whatever, it doesn't matter because it's going to hit for everybody. God, I'm going to get in so much trouble.
That is so cool. And so you write it big on the top and bottom, right?
Right. So what I did here, this is a technique that we all use, that every magician, any fairly advanced, at least, magician knows how to do something like this, where we draw attention. So I can flash it at you, I can show it to you, and you're going to see gym and laundry because they're the biggest things, right? And if I'm holding it, especially, you're only going to see the top and the bottom. But you do know that it's a list. Then I tell you to think of a number, and then when I show it to you, you focus just on that. So you're not going to see anything that's around it. So everything between these. So what I've done is I've guaranteed you're not going to pick 1 or 10, right?
Yeah.
And then no
people
matter
are
what,
thinking that would be too obvious.
well, it's also partly because of the way that I word it. When I say I want you to think of a number between 1 and 10, somewhere in the middle, though, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like it's no big deal when I say it like that, but now that you know why I'm saying it,
Yeah.
it makes sense, right? I don't. I specifically limit you from 1 and 10 by saying yes. Get somewhere in the middle, though. You know.
Do you ever get people that look at the card and go, "Wait a minute, this says"? Has that ever happened to you?
No, it's never happened.
Wow.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't, right? You're not going to read each
And
one.
you
You're
know
gonna
what?
pick a number.
I also have a second one. So if anybody asks me to look at it, I can pull out a second one, and the second one is mostly about going to a pharmacy.
Oh,
So
that's
I can
brilliant.
even do the trick twice in a row, and God, I'm giving away a lot of shit to you
That
guys.
is, I love it. Oh, that is so cool.
Does anybody ever pick number 1 or 10? Like, does
One
that ever
time.
happen?
One time I had somebody pick number 1. Yeah.
But then you can just be like, "Oh, you're going to the gym," because
Well, yeah, but it didn't work like
it
that.
didn't work.
Yeah. It just didn't work. I wasn't hitting until eventually I said, "Wait a minute. Are you in the gym?" Like eventually it dawned on me, like, oh, they must have picked number 1 or number 10. So
Yeah. That's wild. That's
Yeah.
so part of your profession
You were about to say magicianing, weren't you?
I was about to say.
Part of magicking.
Yeah, part of magicianing.
I think I was going to say magicking, but God, you know me too well. So, part of it is reading people, like
Yeah.
knowing people's psychological, like social cues and stuff like that. Is that part of it?
It's a huge part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah. And that's one of the parts that I guess maybe takes the longest to learn is to be able to
I would imagine.
not only to be able to do it, but to be able to pass it off as not only to be able to do it, but to be able to do it spur of the moment and pass it off as intuition or whatever,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Matty, let me tell you something. My magic trick here today has been getting you to reveal how to do your magic tricks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and getting you disbarred from the Magic Association.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired.
Just making up. Yeah, so you just signed your new contract with this this huge company, and now you gave away all the secrets, and now they're going to be like, all right, well, this is clearly in your contract that you're not allowed to do this, and they're going to fire you. So I do apologize for that, but I think it's great content for our audience. And you've at least earned some new fans here. So tell us where people can find you and when, and
you can my website is mattywhipple.com, which is it's partially under renovations right now. When I first bought my domain, I didn't have any idea. I have no web developing skills, and I also, when I first purchased it, didn't have any money to, I couldn't afford to pay anybody to do it either. So right. I kind of like took a super jet set simple course on how to make a website.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, and it's been the same one for that whole time. So my agency has control of my domain now, and they're going to be fixing it up. But anyway, awesome. For now, you can still go there, and it's basically just going to end up pointing you to my YouTube channel, which I also don't upload too much often anymore. But there's plenty of content there. Some of it's good, and you can even see stuff on my YouTube channel. You can see some of the other things that I do. Like you can see some music. I write and I play music, and that's all just hobbies, But is there ever a plan to incorporate music and magic together? Or yes, absolutely. In fact, now that I've signed to this agency, some of this is one of the things it's actually kind of blows my mind is for my whole career so far, everything I've created, I had to think about a budget. Like I couldn't do anything too big. And now that I'm going to be playing some much larger venues, I'm going to be able to create some stage shows where I don't have to think about what I can and can't afford. Like I've never in my life been able to create a stage show where I could think about what I wanted the lights to look like, or what music I wanted playing, or right. The fact that I could have a video screen, play. Like I've never been able. I'm really actually super stoked about that has to be really exciting. Yeah, I'm going to be able to. Everything I've ever wanted to create, I'm going to be able to create now, and it's really, really exciting. So, well, I'm really glad that we got you on the show now before you become a big star, because we have officially plateaued, and we're actually starting to lose listeners now. No. We've gone as far as we possibly can, so we can stake this claim here that we had you on before you're really blown, because I think you will. I think we'll is there a tour? Is there a tour in the works that eventually? Yeah. Not now. Like anything, literally everything that was in the works is on hold now because of this. Right. That didn't exist. There was some talk about doing a tour at some point. Yes. I mean, I did a little miniature East Coast tour. I did 3 venues in a couple of days, from New York that was when I did Broadway, and then I did Philly, and then I did Baltimore, and then I came home. And then, I mean, that's always, yeah. Awesome. And you're still, and they can still find you locally in Berks County, right? Doing so I do Clingers on Carsonia, which is in Mount Penn. I'm there every Wednesday as long as I'm not out of town. And then I'm at Clingers at the airport, which is Reading Airport, every Thursday as long as I'm not out of town. The first Saturday of every month, I'm at Grand Central Tap Room in Fleetwood. The first Friday of every month, I'm at the Orioles Nest, which is out in Newmanstown. And I think that's pretty much it for my regular like public appearances. I do Chatty Monks
Once in a while, yeah.
it's
That's where the Altoid trick was, right? Charity Monks.
That's where it was filmed. Yeah. My promo reel was halfway filmed there, and then also half filmed at Hidden River. I do Hidden River every once in a while. You know, I do Sly Fox every once in a while. You never know where I'm going to pop up.
But there are those few that you do frequent. So
yeah, and it's also because like these are places that were like super good to me. 3 years ago when I was first trying to quit my day job and really make a living off of this.
Right.
And I feel like I'll never, no matter how far on the road I can get, no matter what I can do, I'll always come do gigs at these restaurants and these breweries just because it's awesome.
It helps you stay grounded. Yeah, that's it's a great place to work on new material too.
Yep, absolutely. It's a really good place to beta test stuff. Yeah.
Is Hidden River the brewery? Is it a brewery that has...
Hidden River out in Douglasville, right on 724. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's obsessed with that place. The next time you're there, give me a heads up on Facebook. I would love to come see you there. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
good owners over there.
Mm-hmm.
So check out Matty's website.
I'm going to give a shout out right now to my buddy Quay 2020, Eric Quay. He's a bartender at Hidden River. Quay 2020.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
I've heard of that name before.
His name's Eric Quay. He was a bartender at. We met when he was a bartender at Chatty Monks, and I was performing there.
Maybe that's where I heard of him before. Yeah.
Good guy.
So we want to thank you for being here. Definitely one of my favorite episodes. I love stuff like this. You're a fun guy, and what makes it so good is that you can hear you'll be able to hear the passion in your voice about what you do when you talk about it, and that's what gets me excited because I don't know the least thing. Like I said, I have that magic kit that I couldn't do the basics. I threw it out. I gave up.
Do you still have it?
No, I threw it out. I threw it out right in front of my mother.
God damn. I was gonna say I would teach you how to use it.
Right.
Be amazing.
I don't have. It would be because I bet I'd still fail because I don't have the mind for things like that. I'm good at many things. Well, not many, like one or two things, but magic is not one of them. But what I love about it, what gets me excited about it, is when somebody else who's really good at it, but is also still passionate about it, still loves doing it, loves creating new tricks.
Right.
'Cause you're right. Like if you've seen a magician, it gets stale after a while. If they're doing the same thing over and over again, it gets stale for them.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. I don't see that happening for you, which is awesome.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah. So thank you for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. It was really cool hanging out with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I hope to have you on again.
I talk a lot.
No, hey, look, without talking, we wouldn't have a show.
Yeah, I guess.
And I hope to have you on again. Make sure, like, when that tour does happen, let's get you on and we'll promote the tour and hopefully we get out to see you.
Yeah, anytime. I would love to. Thanks for so much.
All right, thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Have a great night. Welcome back to Pookie in Paradise. You just heard our interview with Matty Whipple. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. What do you guys think? That's one of my favorite interviews so far. I really had fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. The guy's great. I'll have to go check him out in Berks County before he becomes too popular.
Yeah, well, he's so passionate about what he does. That's what gets me fired up.
The only intimate relationship I had with a magician before was my crazy uncle was like a clown magician, and he would do the same 12 shitty magic tricks at every Christmas get-together at my uncle's house. So
I remember going to a birthday party when I was a kid, and there was a birthday magician there, which I would imagine in the industry is not looked at as achieving the highest possible rung of success. Maybe it's a way to start out. It's an entry level into the magician, but he was a clown, but he didn't really have like the clown look. He kind of just looked like a raging alcoholic who did this for beer money, and he kind of looked like Louis C.K.
Okay.
But I remember, maybe it was, I don't know, but I remember him doing like not only tricks, but he told jokes too. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, whoa, this guy is not only a magician, but he's really funny too. And I just remember this burnt out clown magician, definitely an alcoholic, because like thinking back on, I definitely could smell the alcohol in his breath. him being my me looking up to him, and everybody else was just like, ugh. And I'm like, he does this trick, and it probably wasn't that great at the time, but I'm like clapping. I'm like, yeah, and looking around, and no one's really that impressed. I'm like, yeah. So, you're starting to get an insight into what my childhood was like. Even the most disappointing moments, I thought were great.
I mean, I loved my uncle's magic until I realized he was a piece of shit. But
That always ruins it. If you turn out to be a shitty human being, it doesn't matter how good you are at magic.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate anymore.
that fucking handkerchief trick got me every time. Like you pull it, keep pulling it and pulling it out of my hand.
That got you.
Every time. I was like, where did that come from?
So, do you guys want to talk about what we learned today? No? Okay, let's just end the show now.
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, let's talk about what we learned. Bounce, what did you learn today?
I learned that I don't know how to panic shop for survival. That I went to the grocery store just to buy groceries, not even to panic shop. And I was like, well, shit, the kids are home for 2 weeks at least now. And then I bought, I don't know, $100 worth of cupcakes and cookies and chips instead of actual food. So then I had to go to the dollar store and spend another $100 on like frozen food, vegetables, rice, mac and cheese, stuff that the kids should actually eat instead of just junk.
So you're a terrible panic shopper. You would not, without the convenience of the dollar store, you would not be able to make it through this global pandemic.
No, 100%. Because not only did I not buy any food, but as a diabetic, I would certainly die, or at least lose my toes, because I haven't eaten anything but tasty cakes and brownies and mint Oreo cookies.
Are brownies better than just regular brownies?
I meant to say iced brownies. Yeah, you know the extra brownies.
You know the brownie stuffed brownies.
Yeah.
You carefully wrap a regular brownie in the blanket of an even more delicious brownie, and then you eat the delicious diabetes-causing nectar.
It didn't help that they had 5 for $10 sale on tasty cakes. I would have bought just 5 boxes of butterscotch crimpets.
Always a good choice. Leah, what did you learn today?
I learned that your dream in life is to be Howard Stern to a T, because your dream, because your actual dream is to be a judge on AGT, just like his was. And you are going to be the king of all media. So
do you think that was his dream though, or they just asked him to do it and he was like, okay?
Well, it wasn't AGT specifically, but his dream was always to host a game show or a talent show like that. That was always his dream. So yeah,
it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also planning on ripping off Howard Stern coming up here with this psychopath test.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned it, have we? I can't remember. I don't think not on the air. No, we haven't on air yet. Should we? You think?
I just did.
Well, yeah. What? Well, yeah.
We don't edit.
I mean, like,
there's a no editing policy here at White Horse Media.
I mean, should we explain to the audience what we mean by that, or no? Just tell them that. Fuck them. All right.
Well, is it a personality test?
It's like It's like a psych eval, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
so it tells you whether you're a psychopath or not.
Right. And
And
there's
the Howard Stern show did it for all their characters, and it was funny because
yeah,
everybody was a psychopath.
and the narcissist test too that they all took were Robin. Robin.
How long does it take to do one test?
I don't think it takes long. When I was looking into it, like the narcissist test takes like 15 minutes tops.
Oh, so maybe we should just do both.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I think that would be pretty cool because the narcissist one, it's Dr. Drew did it and he wrote a book about it, and he tested all these celebrities, and the number one was Robin Quivers, that she got a 36. She had a 36. Nobody had a high one.
Are
like that.
any of us fearful that anyone that's involved with Whitehorse is going to beat that 36?
I will be shocked if we don't.
Yeah, because Robin doesn't really
Yeah.
strike me as a narcissist. I don't know what she strikes me as. There's something a little off about her. Not our Robin Quivers.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's almost like she she's not the most famous person in the world, but she obviously makes a great living.
Right.
She has everything she could possibly want. You know, she's a multi-millionaire. And it's almost like don't come near me, don't touch me if you
Yeah.
see me out in public type thing. You know, it's like she has people carrying her bags and stuff like that, but she's not completely disconnected either. You know, I don't know if I'm explaining it the right way, but
No, you are.
so maybe that's where the narcissism comes from, but she doesn't strike me that she would really score high on a narcissistic test. Like, she's a smart lady, and she used to be a nurse, so I feel like she would know how to answer those questions to the point where she wouldn't be deemed a narcissist.
Yeah, I think at the time she did it, like she was just answered the questions, normally. And I'm pretty sure she didn't know what they were testing for. She just answered the questions.
Is this
So
one of those bits where she wasn't happy about it, like off air?
yeah.
Like she didn't
Yeah.
like it at all?
Yeah. She like hates Dr. Drew. Like, can't stand him. When he comes on the show, she's a total dick to him. Because, she really can't stand him.
Because she's a narcissist.
But exactly. She is a narcissist. Exactly. You
So-
should listen to some of those interviews. They're funny. Go ahead.
So, who do we think is going to be the biggest narcissist and the biggest psychopath?
Robin.
With Whitehorse. You think Robin for both?
Robin for both. Absolutely. Don't you guys?
Yeah, kind of. I'm super afraid that I'm going to score super high on both of them.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
And I don't know if that's going to be accurate, because I think I'm probably going to, when it comes down to it, I'm probably going to overthink the questions and try to answer them in a way that won't make me seem like any of those things. And in doing so, I'm going to drown myself.
Right.
I'm going to be the highest scored ever.
Well, the narcissist one is interesting too. It'd be really interesting to see like where you and I score, where Mount scores and Robin and Amanda, and the difference between the behind the scenes people. Like, I wonder if us who want to be on air, even Sterner, I don't think his would be that high. But like, we're really on air all the time. I guarantee you and I are going to score pretty high on the narcissist.
I'm
one.
afraid I'm going to get a perfect score.
Yeah.
Which is not good in this case, right?
No,
The perfect
I guess
score,
not.
You don't want to get a perfect score on either of these two tests.
Right.
That's we're all in
Yeah.
agreement on that, right?
Right. I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous.
Although Mounts might be a hidden psychopath. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Mounts were serial.
Yeah, do we think that there's going to be a surprise in here somewhere?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Mounts. He's gonna be like, it's like,
You think? I
uh,
don't know if Mount scored high on either one. It would necessarily surprise me.
really?
Yeah.
The narcissist one would surprise me. But I do
guess, yeah,
believe,
Mount really doesn't seem like a narcissist.
right. But if you found out, like,
I'm the least narcissistic person. The
Yeah.
greatest, least narcissistic person.
That
If
sounds
you-
a little narcissistic like.
if we suddenly found out that Mounts had like 5 women buried underneath his house, I may be shocked, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that one of the questions?
No.
Yes.
Do you have 5 women buried underneath your house? Yes, no, or prefer not to answer?
Yeah.
Right? The prefer not to the answer is the actual wrong answer, like that.
No.
Right. Unsure because I'm not the first owner. So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to do that. I think there will be a surprise. I think somebody from behind the scenes who is maybe a little timid,
Oh, maybe.
shy, like scores extra high on it, and then we just have to berate them unmercifully.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
So
We can
the
arrange
fun
that.
part is, well, I think what we're going to do, because I don't even, how do you administer the test? Like, do you, like, if I take it online, do I get the results right away?
I think
Because
so.
I think
So
they should be a secret.
right. I think what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna look into it. I did some research. The Dr. Drew one, I can get the questions for,
And what,
and then
hold on, what qualifies this fucker to decide if I'm a narcissist or a psychopath?
well, Dr. Drew is actually a legit doctor.
A
He's a
doctor of
therapist.
what? A doctor of narcissism?
No, he's a psychologist or psychiatrist. He's a psych, so he's legit ish. He's not like Dr. Phil. But
Okay.
um
But just because he was on MTV,
right.
is it better
Um
Dr. Phil?
no, I think Dr. Drew's better.
Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's Oprah's doctor, though, isn't he?
Yeah. But he's not an actual like MD doctor. He
Yeah.
never got his MD.
Right. He's got his MD and mustaching now.
Yeah, he does.
That sweet, sweet mustache. That fucking push broom on his lip. Perfectly groomed. You should take some notes, Mounts.
You
Yeah.
should.
Oh, I will. I'll call him up.
I think with the psychopath one, we might need an administrator. Like there might be some kind of like, I'm going to look into that. If maybe we can get someone who take like a psychiatrist or psychologist that actually gives the test to patients to give it to each of us. I think that would be a cool way to do it. And then that way it's real. We know it's legit. It's not just some online thing. And then they give us our results and what they mean. Like that could be cool.
Right. So I think how we should do this is if you should, like, you ladies should do Mounts and I,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mounts and I will do you ladies.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. You know what you know what I mean? You
Yes.
know, like sexually.
I'm afraid to answer because
You want to
doing it.
doing it. No, like administer the test.
yeah. I agree.
So
Like-
we'll ask the question. You give us the answer. We'll electronically enter it into the online program if we
Keep
have
talking.
And we could do
Then what?
we could do like the three of us come on here
Oh God.
and then you two come on man.
to. Correct.
Oh man.
And then what we'll do is we'll all have one big orgy apparently.
The test is actually the nickname for my penis too. So.
And then we'll administer the test to the behind the scenes people.
Yes, we will. Sterner first.
You just write test across your boner in magic marker.
It's just TE.
Right.
It's all that fits.
Like, Mounts is gonna come and administer the test now, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Whitehorse.
We're about to take your psychopathic temperature.
Oh my god.
Buckle up.
Boink. Yep, you're a narcissist. Boink. Yep, you're a psychopath.
Okay. Whew.
Oh my.
In other news, White Horse Media is getting into creating content for Pornhub. This is our first idea. Because why not?
Hell yeah.
They pay.
Oh god.
This is the first thing where the test administrator Mounts.
Check out my new chatterbait. Oh, it's not the plug section yet. Sorry.
So then I think the way we'll do the reveal is maybe we'll reveal the behind the scenes people on just one collective show, and uh, do us. Go ahead, make the joke, Matt. Oh yeah, we'll release the episodes or the results to the people on the shows at the end, and we actually might be doing that as a Patreon later on. So I have news for you. Might have to pay to see that shit.
And you may definitely want to. We're looking into getting a very special guest to take the test with us.
Yes,
So,
is Robin reaching out to her?
I have to text her. I completely forgot to tell her today. So I'm gonna tell her today to get on that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Huge.
So yeah, I like that. So let's start working on that.
Okay.
I want that to happen in like 3 weeks.
Okay, on it.
Especially since we're probably all going to be stuck inside for
Right.
like 2 months. I'm going to be really bored.
Right.
I'm already bored.
We need a lot of content.
I need something to entertain me.
You should listen to White Horse Media podcasts. Like I said on.
I already listened to them.
Yeah. Well, do it again.
Because I'm a fucking narcissist.
Yeah.
I love hearing my own work being shoved back down into my ears. I also listen to it really loud. So what I learned today is that I should have stuck with the magic when I was younger.
Yeah.
I should not have thrown out the Christmas present that my mother was so kind to get me. She thought it was cute. She thought I would enjoy it. I threw it away right in front of her. That was very rude.
Grateful little.
I was very ungrateful little fuck.
Yeah, you were.
But I was very frustrated. But I should have stuck with it because I really admire what Matty does, and not just Matty, but other magicians like him do. It's like it's so amazing how they create this world, but they have a set of rules that they have to follow. So they're restricted in what they can do, but it doesn't seem that way because they're so creative.
Right.
So I encourage you, all you little magicians out there that are listening to an adult podcast with terrible language that just talked about having some sort of orgy and Mounts administer a test with his penis. All you aspiring little magicians out there, stick with it.
Never give up.
Never give up. Never give up. And Leah's muted again. She's talking, laughing, and we can't hear what she's saying.
I'm sorry.
We are professionals here. That's the best part. Okay, so let's go to the burning question. I forget what it was, so let me pull it up here.
Wait, you forgot things that piss us off.
Well, the burning question comes before what pisses us off.
Does?
Oh my fucking God.
I don't think it went that way.
What pisses us off always comes last.
I don't listen to the show. I just participate.
Yeah, but you're on the show.
I know.
Okay, so the burning question. Jesus fucking Christ. Whole episode is ruined. Burning question is very relevant to what's going on in the world today. What is your contingency plan if you run out of toilet paper and can't get any? Leah, what's your contingency plan? You have a house full of people there. There's 5 people that live in your house. Mm-hmm. All of them, I assume, use toilet paper.
Yes, they all do.
Did you purchase any in bulk before this happened, or are you running out? Is it getting dangerously low?
No, we usually buy about 36 roll packs.
Uh-huh. How long does that last? A family of 5?
Maybe 2 weeks, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
I think maybe a month. 2 weeks to a month. It depends. My kids poop a lot, and so does Jack.
Who poops the most in your family?
Oh, Jack definitely poops the most. Okay. It's definitely Jack. Plus, my kids use a lot of toilet paper, too much. You know how kids are. And then they use it to blow their nose and shit like that. But my contingency plan actually came from Robin yesterday. She was saying that there was no paper towels or toilet paper in the stores, but there were coffee filters. And I was like, so? And she was like, wipe your ass with those. And I have a ton because I have a Keurig now, but I still have tons of leftover coffee filters just in case I ever have company. So that's my contingency plan.
That seems pretty well thought out. I'm
Right?
surprised.
Yeah,
I
it's really
thought you were
not.
going to be. I thought you were going to be a complete disaster.
No, see, I can surprise you.
Mounts, what is your contingency plan if you run out of toilet paper and can't get any at the stores?
I will. Well, I've been practicing. I'm going to shit outside like a dog and then just wipe my ass on the grass.
Can we see a preview of that?
Yeah, once we get the Patreon set up, we'll.
Right. You're
not-
good thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously people would want to pay to see that.
Always making that money.
So you're just gonna poop in the yard. You don't care who looks at you or sees you. You're just going to poop in the yard.
Nope.
You know, I envy dogs. Like, why can't we have buttholes that we can poop out of and not have to worry about wiping? I hate wiping.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate it.
Do you guys use wet wipes or do you use toilet paper only?
When I remember to have wet wipes,
Mhm.
they're wonderful.
Yeah.
But I never remember to buy them.
Mounts?
I'll go like 6 months. I just bought a thing of the wet wipe toilet paper. We have it currently, but usually, it's like once every 6 months I have the luxury of the wet wipe.
And
It's a real treat for you.
It is. It's so refreshing.
Are you guys the type that like you poop, wipe, put that in the toilet, then get more toilet paper? Are you like a more than one wiper, like more than one water, or
what? You know,
like
no, I definitely poop, wipe, put it in the toilet, and then pull that paper back out of the toilet and wipe again.
no, get a
What are you talking about?
a double wiper? You don't know what I mean? So like you
wipe until there's no more poop left on my butt crack.
With the same piece of toilet paper, or do you
I
get
get
another clump of
piece.
toilet paper?
I get
Yeah,
another
that's
clump
what
of-
I meant.
I get as many toilet papers as I need.
Well, I wrap my entire hand
Right.
with lots of toilet paper, and then I just
You dig in there.
dig in, top, bottom, and then I don't put the paper in the toilet. I pull the hand out and just whip it like out the window.
It hits the neighbor lady in the face.
Ah!
Again? Why does this happen every Tuesday morning?
It's only Tuesdays.
Yeah.
He only poops on Tuesdays.
That's when she happens to be outside gardening.
Oh, I thought Mount was only
Her
allowed.
garden is right underneath Mounts'
No.
bathroom for some reason.
I poop like 6 times a day.
Yeah, I do all my pooping in the morning, and then I really don't poop the rest of the day. But I poop like 3 times in the morning. It's crazy. I'll sit there for 45 minutes, and I'll stand up, and I'll have to poop again. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's the worst when you're like you pooped, you're like, oh, okay, good, I'm done, and then you get up, pants back on, and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta poop again.
Oh, I hate
Right.
it. It's so frustrating.
Especially at work, because I love pooping at work. But if
Because you're getting paid for it.
right, and
You're getting paid $20 an hour to shit.
So I poop, and then I'm like, oh shit, they're probably wondering where I am. Fuck, but I still gotta poop. If I go back, I'm gonna have to leave again. So then, but luckily, I'm diabetic.
Well, there's nothing more satisfying than when I was at Sundance and then like at my peak, like my best year there, I made like $140,000. So as sick as I am, I'm thinking like I'm taking a shit, and I'm like I'm making like $300 an hour right now.
I thought you were going to say you made 140,000 poops.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah.
I made 140,000 poops that year. I only made like 30 grand, but I made 140,000 poops.
That was the thing at Osgood's. At the end of every shift before I clock out, I'd go poop. Even if I didn't have to, I'd just go try. Like
a couple extra minutes of the paycheck, yeah.
Yeah, because that's like, there it was like 40 cents, but still.
I have to poop now, kind of. So I might just leave this record and get paid to poop from White Horse Media Group. We don't get paid anything.
We don't get paid.
Well, again,
Wait.
I'm getting paid. You guys aren't.
Right.
So, how do you how do you feel about that? So okay, so here's my contingency plan, and I'm gonna really piss people off here. So I've been reading all these Facebook posts about mothers who are bitching that people are buying the baby wipes
Yeah.
instead of the toilet paper because
Mhm.
the toilet paper's gone.
Right.
Well, what the fuck do you expect them to do?
Right.
How are they supposed to know that you don't have fucking baby wipes?
And also,
You know what I mean? Like you're a
baby
terrible
wipes.
mother if you don't have baby wipes.
Right. One. And two, you can't, like, adults can't wipe their ass with a wet washcloth. What are you going to do? Can't flush that down the toilet. But babies, like my sister, never used wipes on my niece and nephew because they would get rashes from it. So she always just used a washcloth. You can't do that with a grown ass butt. So, suck it up, mother. Shut up. Warm
Right.
up a washcloth and wipe your baby's ass.
Why did you wait until you had no baby wipes left to go buy baby wipes?
Right. Don't be
These
assholes.
are the same people that weren't taking this seriously.
Right.
I don't feel
right.
bad for them. So my contingency plan is I stocked up on baby wipes.
There you go.
I mean, I have a million rolls of toilet paper too, so I'm like double insured. And
You start.
like I said, I do poop a lot. So if we're stuck indoors for 8 weeks and we can't go to the store, I got
Mhm.
baby wipes, and I don't care
Yeah.
that your baby doesn't have baby wipes. I do not care.
I'll be completely fucked if we get stuck inside for 8 weeks.
Do you think you would die?
No, I won't die, but like I'm the kind of person that'll like.
Well, you got cupcakes and macaroni and cheese and
Yeah.
frozen vegetables. How long can you guys live on that?
Well, I also have I have other food now. Like frozen vegetables, a ton of frozen vegetables. We'll be all right. I'm a chef. God damn it. I'm more concerned is like even though I'm making better money now, I have a bunch of money. I refuse to buy big things of toilet paper. So like I bought a 4-pack today from the dollar store, like the jumbo pack. But I'm the kind of guy that'll just go to the dollar store and buy the $1 6-pack of like shit toilet paper, or I'll buy one roll of Scott's toilet paper. And then it'll just be like, why is there no toilet paper? And I'm like, oh shit. And then I'll run down to the dollar store and be like, oh well, I'll buy one more. And now with the shortage, there's never big packs, so I only buy the 4-pack. Because I think
is that just like, do you think that's on a psychological level? You're still punishing yourself for being poor for so long?
maybe
Like you don't deserve the 36 roll pack of toilet paper.
I don't deserve the Charmin. A lot of it's that I
Triple
think,
ply,
and
36 roll toilet paper. That's only for rich people.
my father's cheapskate, like finding the best possible deal, not paying. Like if you could get off buying one roll of toilet paper and paying $1 for it.
See, here's the unpopular opinion. I prefer Scott's because it also itches my asshole as I'm wiping. Whereas the Angel Soft is a waste of money. I can literally go through an entire roll in one shit.
Right. I like the Scott. Yeah.
I like a little pain when I'm wiping.
But it's funny because I could also buy Scott's in larger quantities than
You
the one roll.
Yes. Yeah, you could.
Can I ask a serious question of you guys? How long is it going to take until people riot? Like at 8 weeks, do you think people will start breaking into grocery stores? Like, will it happen that soon, or will it be longer?
That's a good question. I would imagine it would happen beforehand. It depends. Like these probably these very poor areas that everybody's living in poverty, they can't afford to buy in bulk. They're going to get really desperate, for sure.
Right.
The quote unquote food deserts that they already can't get healthy food. They suffer because they don't have their own car. They rely on public transportation.
Ooh.
That's going to shut down. Yeah, this is going to be, if it goes 8 weeks, yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. I mean, this is going to be terrifying. It's going to seem like Armageddon if they have.
It has the potential to be very dangerous for lots of reasons.
Yeah, it does.
But I'm not worried about that because I will be safely pooping in my bathroom with. I have hundreds of rolls of toilet paper and baby wipes.
Somebody's gonna
And
come
if I run out of food, I'll just eat those.
That was the funny thing. The lady at the dollar store was like, "Everyone's an idiot. Nobody's buying medicine." It's a
Yeah, it
like
is a weird
nobody's
thing that toilet paper is the one that everybody ran to. It was like,
and like it made sense. Like, oh, you won't be able to go out and buy more toilet paper, but to buy massive amounts of toilet paper, like
you also won't be able to go out and buy more food.
right.
So
Right.
like my thing is like I'd much rather have to hop in the shower after every shit
hmm
and then go hungry, than have to eat the dog
right.
Right. Right.
or the dog eat me.
And the
So
medicine thing
that's the
too.
other thing. I went out and bought a shit ton of dog food too.
Yeah.
I did too. I bought a bunch of dog and cat food, litter, and I did actually buy medicine. I bought like children's ibuprofen, Tylenol, that kind of stuff. I actually did to make sure we have it in the house just in case.
I bought medicine too, weed.
I bought
Well,
extra.
that too.
I bought an extra Bible to pray extra hard.
To pray the food into your mouth.
hmm
That was smart.
That makes sense. So let's go to what pisses us off. Leah, what pisses you off?
What pisses me off is to having to build fucking toys for my kids.
Hmm,
I
that's a good one.
Oh my God. So Nina got this kitchen for Christmas. It's a wooden kitchen.
Mhm.
And we haven't put it together yet because we weren't sure where we were going to put it.
So you made your daughter wait on this Christmas present
Well,
for
3 months.
fucking 3 months.
to be fair, she didn't really care at first because she
Mhm.
wanted it in her room and we're redoing her room. So she was okay with it. But now they're bored. They're home all the time. So I was like, let's put it together. And it's not just putting it together that pisses me off, but it's like they're all white slats and there's all these screws and all this kind of shit. And it's only like the most horrible hand drawn directions with no words. Like one circle, step one, and it shows two pieces put together. Are you fucking kidding me? And then they're all numbered, right? All the pieces are numbered, but they have stickers with the number on them.
Uh-huh.
So like half of them, the stickers fell off of them, or their stickers
Because you
not
waited
on.
3 months to put it together.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, sometimes these things stay in their boxes for years, so they
No,
fell off.
nobody keeps them in boxes.
I mean on the
Everybody-
shelves.
No, that's not true.
People don't buy them immediately.
But not
From, like,
no, a
Amazon?
store would not sell them if they sat on the shelf for years.
A toy? Well, true. All right, I got you.
Oh, you're completely off on this.
So either way, the stickers
The
fell
reason
off.
the stickers fell off is because the glue dried
Yes.
because it was sitting in the box for so long.
Well, yeah. Oh well. So still, not the point. Do you have to put stickers on them? Just like, and why the pictures? I don't understand why they can't say, take this piece, give me a picture, and like put this from the bottom or the top, or do you know what I mean? Like the directions are so bad. Then when you finally get it kind of together, it has like you slide the backs in behind it and all that kind of stuff. Jeff, you had a boy, so you never built like a dollhouse or anything. But Mounts, have you had to build
Oh,
like
yeah.
that kind of, yeah. And you have to like slide in the backs and then you get it all screwed together, but then pieces don't fit. And then they give you these little brown plugs to plug them in, like wooden pegs, and the pegs go into the piece and they don't hold together. It's a fucking nightmare. And if you're gonna charge me like $250 for a fucking kitchen, you just come put it together for me. Well, I hate it. I hate it. Stupid. Or make the directions better.
Have you guys encountered anything that you've purchased where you have to download an app to get the directions to
Yes.
put the thing together? That's infuriating.
Yes, it absolutely is. And if you're going to do something like that, give me a video. Give me a step-by-step showing something. Give me a CD with step-by-step instructions on how to do it so I can watch you do it. I hate it.
So I just want to paint this picture. This is what's really going on in the Kasari household. The little girl, what's her face? Which one is this that got the kitchen?
Nina.
Nina wakes up on Christmas morning.
Mhm.
She's very excited because she's hoping to get this kitchen. She's hoping Santa remembered her letter and to her delight, she opens up the kitchen that she wanted, and she can't wait to start playing with it.
Right.
But then mom and dad wait 3 months. So every day she comes home from school, she just sits down in front of the box and just looks at the picture for hours.
Oh my God.
And,
When you
and a single tear rolls down her eye, knowing that she's going to have to wait another day to play with this kitchen.
when you put it that way, maybe I did deserve to have CPS called on me.
And it's all because we just as parents despise putting together toys.
It's the bane of my existence, and I don't understand it. Like, just put the shit together for me. How hard is that? I
And then
mean,
put it in a box.
yeah,
Just give me a bigger box.
give
Right.
me a bigger fucking box. It's ridiculous. I hate it. And if you're gonna do stuff where like the holes have to match up, like the two pieces, that's what really drives me nuts. Sometimes they don't match up. They're not perfectly like aligned, and then you go to put the screw in, and then it goes too far and it breaks the piece. It's horrible. It's a miserable experience.
Which one is it again, Nina? You said.
Yes, Nina.
Okay, Nina, if you're listening, again, I don't see why you wouldn't be because we are a children's show. I am sorry that your mom made you wait 3 months to enjoy your Christmas present, and then did a shoddy job of putting it together.
Oh, it's not even completely done yet. But to if you think about it, I did her a favor because had she had this kitchen for the past 3 months, she'd be over it by now, right? So now that she's stuck in the house for the next 2 weeks, she's got a brand new toy that I wouldn't have just bought her. See?
Right. So you did this because you knew the
I did. The world
coronavirus was inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
I
in
read
that case, you should be teaching parenting classes instead of being taught.
I read Sylvia Brown's book and I knew it was coming in 2020.
Right. So, Mountains, what pisses you off?
So I don't know why this popped into my head, or there's no relevant reason this pisses me off. But when I looked at the outline and I read your what pisses me off, and what pisses me off is the fucking clocks that don't have all the numbers on it, like the RT fucking clocks that just have.
That's a good one.
Like a 5. Like I have to fucking
fill in the blanks.
Think. Like I have to think. Like in the day and age of digital clocks, you got to make a clock that I gotta look at and be like, oh shit, that's like that far away from that one number.
Yeah. No, I that used to piss me off as a kid too, when there would be no numbers on a clock. Like, why?
Oh,
and
God.
like my parents used to explain to me like, oh well, the expensive watches don't have numbers, and I'm like, well, why? You think the ones with numbers would be more expensive?
Right. That's a good point.
My grandmother had a clock in the kitchen that was just strawberries, big strawberries and little strawberries.
Was it always strawberry o'clock?
I'm like, oh look, it's 3 strawberries past the little straw. Like, fuck, just get a clock.
I can see how that could be very confusing to a young child.
Ugh. I don't even know why. Like, I haven't seen one in a while, but it popped into my head like this. I'm like, it can't be something about work. It can't be that one guy at work.
Well, it can.
It was like, well, I mean,
as long as it's a new thing pissing you off and not the one from last week or the week before.
Right. No, but this, and I was like, that really does fucking piss me off.
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember that. I'm being infuriated by that as a kid.
Like, or the ones that all the numbers are at the bottom, like they all fell. Like, it's not fucking funny. Like, get a good clock.
My mom has this clock that plays noise when every hour, and she uses it for Christmas because there's a setting. It's Christmas and non-Christmas. So she pulls it out on Christmas, and so for 3 months straight, every hour you hear one of 5 Christmas songs, and they're poorly recorded, and then the clock also just maneuvers around while it's playing. It's and I hate it. I want to destroy that clock, but it brings joy to my mom, so that's what's held me back so far. But I think this Christmas, if I hear it, if I remember, I'm just going to destroy it.
It might just fall off the wall.
Right? Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Oh shit. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom, but this clock is a piece of shit.
Here's a clock that won't piss you off.
Right. I just give her a phone, like her phone.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
one that doesn't make noise. Well, you can stop it from making noise. So what pisses me off is that I had to. I wouldn't say I had to rush down here for class, but I had to be down here for by a certain date in order for orientation to be, start my on-campus classes. So I had that week of orientation. Then I have 1 week of classes, and then they push back classes for a week because they have this big celebration called Hall of Fame. And like I kind of knew this was going to happen, but they had this big gathering of people, which is not recommended right now. But as soon as Hall of Fame was over, they made the announcement that they're going to move everybody to online classes for the next month and a half till May 4th at least. Like I could have stayed home for this. Now I'm paying an exorbitant amount of money to stay in this,
Right.
this apartment. And
Yeah, crappy timing for you,
it fucking blows.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter for this class because literally all we're doing is just watching movies. It's a film history class, but I feel really bad for the students that are in the middle of their production classes that need hands-on experience and they're not going to get it. But
Sucks.
my inconvenience is even more important than that. I could have stayed home for another 2 months. That pisses me off. I don't like the coronavirus.
Fuck it. Fuck that liberal hoax.
Yeah, I can't believe the liberals invented the coronavirus.
Thanks a lot, Obama.
I'm definitely pro Trump now. Do you guys think this is it for him?
Nope.
I
Nope.
do, and I think I think he may get impeached over this, and
Again? Well, we know that's it's not gonna stick.
well, I think if what they're saying is true, and I don't know. I mean, you never know, but I've seen a couple articles where they're saying that Donald Trump has some sort of financial entanglements with one of the companies that's trying to create a vaccine for this, and that he doesn't want to fund any of the other ones so that he gets the money. And if that's true, that's obstruction of justice for sure. It's not obstruction.
It's a crime.
Yeah.
It's a crime. Yeah, I can't think of what the crime is, but if it comes out that that's true, if he's risking American lives for his own benefit, that's treason.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's about convincing the people in power, Republicans, that he actually did this.
But I'm saying if there's hardcore proof, if it comes out that he is even remotely entangled with somebody that comes up with it, I think that's something they can't ignore because that's treason ultimately.
Well, I read somewhere there that his administration turned down the World Health Organization coronavirus tests.
Yeah.
Because a company he owns stock in is developing a test of their own.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
How is that legal?
It's not. It's very much not because he's risking our lives for his benefit. That's treason. You can't do that.
I think it's enough because these idiots out there, they're one-issue voters. It's the economy, and if the economy is not pumping, they don't like them. Well,
that's the other thing. The economy is going to take a fucking nosedive, and I don't think it's going to come back at all before the election. I think he's done.
That'll be the key. If it comes back really strong before election day,
right,
it probably gets in.
Right.
But let's. I really have to poop. All this talk about poop. So let's plug. We're going to plug and get out of here.
Okay.
Mounts.
Nothing.
Good. Leah.
Nope. You know what to do.
Check out mattywhipple.com. Go to our social media and follow everything. And check us out next week. You guys have a great rest of your week.
Bye.